Hey there folks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Elvin Dowling, the Architect of Change. I'd like to read for you an excerpt from my new book entitled License to Live, which is due out in bookstores February 2011 by Destiny Image Publishers. The name of this excerpt, You Were Born to Drive. Perhaps the greatest responsibility that every driver bears is the fact that having a license is a privilege that can be revoked at any time for any reason. As a new driver starting out, this is the first thing we're taught. Driving has the power to deliver or destroy with one press of the pedal. When trying to navigate the highways of life, filled with twists and turns, it is important that we remember this even though we were each born with a God-given right to be free. There's a benefit that we may enjoy only through the licensing process, and that is driving. In the preamble to the Constitution of the United States, Thomas Jefferson declared that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Within this well-worn credo lies a certain fundamental principle that governs all God's children, regardless of their station or their lot in life. And that is the fact that we are given specific and implied rights inherent in each of us at birth. As members of the human race, we were all born to drive down the highways of life. Moreover, lying deep within each of us is an innate desire to get our motors running. But whether we get in the driver's seat and take life for a spin is up to each and every one of us. In the United Nations-backed International Bill of Human Rights, inalienable rights are more broadly described as this: all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reasonable conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. As members of the global family, it is incumbent upon each of us to understand that we are indeed born with the capacity to live a life beyond our wildest imaginations, all of which is buttressed by basic rights which cannot be abridged. Even if you're like me and started out in the race of life with the ball and chain fastened to your legs, the race to the top isn't over until you win. Having grown up in less than favorable conditions, all I knew was struggle. Today, however, having overcome many challenges that confound the imagination, I stand solidly convinced that if I can make it, so can you. You are somebody, have been from birth, because God don't make no jump. Now, my friends from school always lived better than me with regard to material things and had the trust funds to prove it. In fact, I often joked that we were so poor growing up as a child that I could step on a quarter and tell you if it was heads or tails. One time in particular, I went to my father, who abandoned me as a baby, but who I saw every day as a teenager because he worked as a custodian in my high school, and asked him to buy me a new pair of shoes. Now, mind you, the need was urgent, as I was already conditioned by my mother to not expect anything from my father, let alone some new kicks to start off the school year. Nonetheless, I approached him anyway, as my dogs were truly barking. For those of you all who aren't from the hood, that simply means that the soles had separated from the shoes and appeared to be talking while you walk. Now back to business. I'll never forget asking my father for money to help me get a new pair, to which he responded, "I have rent to pay." He then abruptly walked away. This was the second and final time that I would allow him to disappoint me in such a manner. You see, at 8 years old, I stood outside of his apartment on the balcony as he wouldn't let me in to meet his new wife and other children, and I pleaded with him to buy me a new bicycle for Christmas that year. Of course, he promised that he would and promptly reneged on his commitment. Christmas came and Christmas went, and nary a bike to be found. Even still, in spite of his complete abdication of his role as my father and my friend, I'm crazy enough to believe that the God I serve assures me that when my mother and my father forsake me, then He will lift me up. Later on in life, I would have the opportunity to invite my father to my wedding, to which I did more for me than for him. Being true to his character, good old Dad told me that he had a prior engagement in Las Vegas and just couldn't make it. Well, bless his heart. At least he was honest. No matter, my most important day was celebrated by family and friends and the people who truly loved me, including 2 members of Congress, a former big city mayor, 2 presidents of national organizations, a 10-piece band that helped us kick off the festivities rather nicely. I did hear from him eventually when he saw me in Ebony magazine as one of the 30 leaders of the future, where he told me that he thought I was a chip off the old block. Thanks a bunch, Dad. That means a lot coming from you. As a result of what I learned from my own father, I now look forward with joyful anticipation to taking my son on outings and eating dinner with him every night, understanding that the time I spend with him is what is most important and what he will remember long after I am gone. Every evening, for example, I make a point of rushing home from wherever I may be to eat dinner with my child, spend quality time with him, playing games and adhering to a consistent bedtime ritual that includes reading and singing and loving my child to pieces. As a victim of neglect by my own father, I understand the debilitating effects that parental absence can have in one's life, and how easily our parents' failures, if we are not careful, come to define our future. This has been an excerpt from my new book entitled License to Live. I'm Elvin Dowling, the architect of change, reminding you that good things come to those who wait, but only to those who hustle. Think about it.